Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So I go so the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. He was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing eye. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe, shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty, I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from the planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty, I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look, I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and picture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing
touching and kissing, make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
Hello. Am I on? All right, welcome on. This is Ola, ladies and gentlemen. Right? So the topic for today, we're going to be talking about the challenges of being a modern man. The challenges of being a modern man. All right? Come on, guys. Wherever you logging in, IG, Facebook, come on. Let's check it out. All right? I think I'm on. Good. Awesome. All right, the challenges of being a modern man. All right, I'm just gonna wait a few seconds for you guys to come on. Again, this is Ola. All right. So, what are the challenges of being a modern man? You know what, that word modern man is always very tricky to me. Like what is a modern man, right? What is a traditional man? What is a modern woman? What is a traditional woman? All right, the question. I mean, I'm trying to think about when did we start using languages like that? Like what are the characteristics of being a modern man? What are the characteristics of being a modern woman? Right? Are there any overlaps, right? Are there certain things that modern woman does that traditional woman does, right? Are there things that modern man does or that traditional man does as well? You know, but in large, I think we kind of understand what we're talking about, right? So modern men, right, is in context to modern women, right? So I hope you guys don't fight me on that. I think all men are traditional men, right? And I think we can talk more about this, right? But so I think all men, that's my opinion, right? So I think all men are traditional men. So the reason why we're talking about modern men is in context to modern women, right? Because as modern men, then we have to deal with modern women, right? So I think we have to agree that modern women is a whole, listen, that's above my pay grade, to be honest with you, right? That one is above my pay grade, the modern women. And I think you can go online, you can talk to some of these females and you see their mindset, see how they see things, right?
Whoa.
Why are you interrupting my show?
Whoa. We don't do modern woman talk here. We don't do that here. We don't do modern women talk here. I'm sure everybody's like confused. Like, what the hell is going on here? All right. Welcome, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest today, my one and only best friend, brother. His name is Sola. I'm going to give you a proper introduction, but hold on. Just hang tight behind the scenes for a second. Hold on. Okay. All right, everybody. I know you guys were confused for a second there. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. My name is Ola, coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Over here, we talk about life and relationship. We pull life and relationship lessons from trendy topics as well. In recent times, we've been doing some master classes, trying to catch up with some of the stuff we need to learn by themselves. But anyway, you can download our books, my wife and I's books here. for free at manofprestige.com. We tackle these topics from self-power, social, seduction, emotional intelligence standpoints, attraction, emotional intelligence standpoint. Shout out to my sponsors, Mo Fresh, Life with Natu, Adesua, Film Girl, Open Floor, Gorex, D-Love 3000, Yes TV, Chidima, Sparkleberry, and Mary Parker. Thank you so much for always supporting the platform. This month, our goal is $449, August 2024. Right now, we're up to $10.76. And thank you so much for all your support. You can donate from membership, super chat, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, all of the above. Ask at manofprestige.com. Also, Cash App, $ manofprestige.com. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified before we go live. So today, I did tell you I'm going to have a special guest. I just didn't tell you who it was going to be, right? But today, I do have a very, very, very special guest. We're going to dissect this topic, but we're actually going to go back to my growing up a little bit, okay? It's a biomedical engineer, pharmaceutical engineer, clinical research engineer, real estate investor, husband, father, son. Most importantly, a brother, a best friend. My brother Sola is here today. What's going on, brother?
What's up, big bro?
All right, so a lot of people, they would have preferred that I tell them up front, but I've always warned them to don't be counting on me, telling them up front, so because they prefer to be able to interact, but we're going to be here. Thank God I can just talk to you and not bother too much about interaction. But if you're here, shout out to all the 8 out of 5,000 people watching live. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Let's ping everybody else into the room. I am a life, relationship, marriage coach along with my wife, of course. You can reach us, ask at manofprestige.com, or you can also reach out by text message +1 732 305 8577. You can reach us anytime for your complimentary free coaching session. And like I said, the books are always available on manofprestige.com if you want to download them. So without any further ado, the challenges of being a modern man, including African men. Before we get into all that, these people, they can just watch as crickets on the wall. That's fine, But let's get down to business, right? Growing up. Now, you're older than me.
No.
You're older than me, or at least we're twins or something like that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm 3 years and some change older than my brother Sola. Ayamola is Sola, and we grew up together. So I'm gonna throw some questions at him today. Like I said, he's my best friend. He's one of my best friends. He was my best man. I was partially his best man. We were just fulfilling our righteousness. Yeah, but you are the best man, but I was also a best man, But so I've known you as long as I have been aware of being a human being.
Yeah.
So, and I want us to talk a little bit about growing up. I tend to remember a lot more than you. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, but the first question I want to ask you is, what would you say is my weakness, even up to today? Just be honest, that you say, me personally, my weakness.
Yeah.
Even if it's a couple of them, just shoot. I'm curious.
Yeah,
we talk all the time, but I don't think I've ever been patient enough to hear you in that respect ever.
Yeah. So I think many years ago, I'm the best person to ask that question. Fast forward, I think Dami is the better person to ask that question today.
Okay.
Right.
So you can call her Lola. They all know Lola here.
Lola. Oh, Lola. Okay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I think my beautiful sister-in-law is the best person to answer that question.
Uh-huh.
Well, I can give two, right? The first one is you are very stubborn. Right?
I'm very stubborn.
Yes.
You're calling me a coconut head right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So, but that's a blessing and that's a curse, right? Everything I'm going to say is a blessing and a curse, right? So, it all depends on the context, how you look at it, right?
Right.
Uh, typically, stubborn people are very, they are smart, they are knowledgeable, they have studied so much, they have read a lot of stuff, right? So now that stubbornness comes from that. Oh, I've studied this, I know 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 this, and you are biased to what you study, you are biased to what you know, right? But the
Right.
truth is, there's the other side of things that you are too stubborn to even take a look at,
To
right?
see. Right.
To objectively see. So, like I said, it's a blessing, it's a curse, right? So that's the first one. Then the second one will be you talk too much. That's it. That's
I
it.
talk too much. Oh wow. Oh wow. Can you give me an example of what you would say of me talking too much? You don't have to go too personal, but give me an example that you feel like safe. That denotes me talking too much.
No, just in a very on a very surface level. Like you just talk. You like explaining stuff. You like
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
In that way.
Nothing serious. As in like no.
Okay.
The first one can be very serious, like stubbornness, right? But the second one is more like just like no, this guy will talk your head off if you allow him to. Right?
Right. Okay.
So you
All
like
right.
so the good side to that is you like explaining. You like explaining stuff.
So
Right?
so I do a lot of shalaye.
Yeah, you do a lot of shalaye, right? So the other side to that is I could just imagine being to me right now. Can I mention to me's name?
Yeah, you can mention to me. Yeah. To me, it's your nephew.
Yeah. So the other side would be to me right now where you probably want to talk his head up and it's like, yo, dad, just leave me alone. Like, Jesus Christ, right? So yeah, so it's more it's a more surface level thing, you know.
I feel you.
Yeah. But then your positive outweighs the negative, like a long shot. So,
I hope so.
yeah,
After all, I'm still older than you, and you will never be as old as I am.
exactly.
And you will get as old as I am and older than me. But I'm just saying, not in the real time, not at the same time. Okay.
Correct.
All
Not
right.
at the same time, yeah.
All right. Good. Now, speaking of Tommy, what's the difference between you were an uncle for a long time before you became a father?
Yeah.
What's the difference between being an uncle and being a father?
In terms of work.
Okay, so just I know how much you care about your nephews, right?
Yeah.
And you show that a lot in all those long years, right? So my nephew, your son, is 6 years old, right?
Yeah.
Six years old, right? So to me, it's literally 10 years older than, right? So for like a whole 10 years, you were an uncle and you were old enough to be their father,
Yeah.
right? So in that respect,
Yeah. So I was an uncle, but my uncleness is based around. Oh, to me, Anthony, I love you guys. You guys are so awesome, right? You guys, let's play. Let me buy you Christmas gifts, all that kind of good stuff, right?
right?
How's school? How's everything, right? You know, oh, you guys ate, all is well, right? You know, so that part is good.
So your uncleness was based, you were spoiling them basically.
Yeah, I was spoiling them to the extent at which I can, right? So, but as a father, as a relationship, as in being a father, right?
Right. Your experience. I'm talking about your experience.
In my experience, yeah. So being a father is a little bit extra deeper, right? So that comes with extra stress, right?
Okay.
The stress that you were carrying, right? That Lola was carrying, but you didn't necessarily show it to me as the uncle, or you didn't show it to the world.
Right.
You were carrying that stress, right?
Right.
So now I feel all that stress on my own end, right? So, and that stress outweighs. I want to spoil you, kind of thing.
Right.
It's like, okay, is it talking on time? Is it working on time? Is it progressing? Is it, development concerns? Just basic things, right? Like, oh, this boy is not eating like he's supposed to eat. What's going on, right? Very basic thing. Why is he not sleeping? Why is she awake like 5 a.m.? Basic things that I was not exposed to. So those things tends to outweigh the uncle, I want to spoil you.
In terms of responsibility,
It's different.
how much energy goes into that?
Yeah.
So now you would say, because just like me, you have a lot of young people, single people that takes a liking to you. They're around you, you and your wife. Some of them, would you say you experience them running their mouth about things they don't know anything about when it comes to parenting? You feel that way sometimes?
I mean, yes.
Or not exactly?
Not totally against me, because I was in their position a little bit.
Okay. So you have empathy for their position. They don't know what they're talking about, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Like, don't worry, just keep it up.
Like we're patient. Just take your time.
Exactly. And typically, I'm saying stuff like, let's have this conversation again in the next 5 years, right? Let's revisit this, right? So I'm typically saying stuff like that. So, I don't give much like energy into it. I'm like, okay, keep that same energy.
Yeah, just remember to keep that same energy.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's talk about marriage real quick, right? Overall, what has been your experience of marriage? You've been married for how long now?
It's gonna be 8 years this year. Thank God.
8 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
8 years.
It's gonna be 8 years this year. It's gonna be time flies.
Do you feel like you know everything that I know? How long have I been married now? I'm going to be 17 years at the end of this month.
17 years, yeah. Oh, wow.
Do you feel like you know everything I know now?
Everything that you know?
It's a trick question, but you can answer the most honest way you can answer.
Do I? No. Let me answer that in my own way.
Yeah. Take your time.
The more the time goes, the more I'm realizing I don't know anything.
That you don't know shit. Yeah, that's how I like to say it. The older I get, the more I realize I don't know shit. So I'm still feel that way. Yeah.
So I'm kind of learning backward, not learning forward, right? Learning forward will be, I'm studying physics textbook. If you're Nigerian, you know what OKK is, right?
Right. And Lambert, is it not Lambert? Is it Lambert?
OKK is physics.
The other one, there's another book I'm trying to remember right now. No, physics. There's another the bigger one, physics. Anyway, we read Okeke.
Yeah.
Okeke was the main one, yeah.
Okeke was the main one. So it's like, you study physics, you're reading Okeke. Okay, you read about resistance,
right?
Voltage, but you're learning more, right? By chapter 5, you learn more. Chapter 6, you learn more. You're learning more. Right? Marriage is the opposite.
It's the opposite.
Marriage, you started with a big textbook, then you are opening the chapter. Oh, snap! I don't know much. Then you.
So you are discovering the basics backward.
You are discovering the basics backward that you probably tend to dismiss. So a whole lot of noise just start getting stripped away as a more chapter is opening.
Right.
Like, okay, I don't know much. Okay, I really don't know much. Okay, I don't know much. Right. So
it's not landing properly. I don't know shit.
I don't know shit. Right.
Right.
So I think what that does, for me personally, it keeps me humble, right? Like, you know what?
Humility.
One day, okay, another day, another challenge.
Absolutely.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I need to add on to this. The way you just put it is quite interesting. I might revisit that a lot. So we have this thing we call the 4-point focus here, right?
Okay.
See number 4 right there, right? Pride and ego.
Yeah.
We obviously want to replace that with humility. Your pride is playing a lot of the role in the beginning. Yeah. Somebody fell in love with you. You fell in love with somebody. You went through a premarital counseling class. And then, you're like, okay, I think I'm ready to go. But then you start to discover things that on a normal day, they're supposed to be basic, but you dismissed them. Right? So a lot of people these days, they're like, when we say there's a problem in marriage, they tend to be like, oh, you should have talked about this before. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
okay, yes. Okay, you're right. Okay, you're right. Because on a basic level, it makes sense, right? That you should have talked about things from the beginning. But when you start to go through these experiences, you start discovering things that you're not the one tapping yourself. Like, you should have talked about this in the beginning. And you're like, But then that's the experience across the board. Anybody that has been married, it's not realistic that you're going to talk about all these things. You can't even comprehend what you're going to talk about.
Exactly. I was talking to a friend of mine at church about that today, because he's most likely getting married next year. So he was asking me about we started talking about checklist, right?
Right.
So I said the beauty about your checklist is in the next 5 years your checklist will have changed. Our checklist will have changed.
Right.
So now the question is, how can you navigate that change? Everybody's changing. You're both changing. Right?
Everybody's changing, evolving.
Exactly.
All the synonyms of change that you can pull them out.
Exactly. So it comes back to going back to the basics, right?
Right.
Basics will guide you in different scenarios in life, right?
Yeah.
So example of the basic will be respect, right? Right? Respect each other. Now,
Yes.
How that respect looks like in the 30s might not be the same how the respect will look like when you are both in your 60s or 70s.
Exactly.
Still the same fundamentals, respect. Right?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, no, I definitely don't know as much as you. I'm knowing less and less every day.
You're knowing less. You're knowing less and less. Yeah. That is crazy. Welcome, Natu. Natu, where are the rest of your people? Yes, this is my blood brother, my only brother on the screen, visiting us today. And shout out to all of you that you are going to come later on and be asking me the same question. But welcome, Natu. Good to see you. Yeah. All right. So yeah. I think that was a fantastic. I couldn't have said that any better. But that's what experience does, right? The more you get to it, the more you discover. Now, take your time, okay? Yeah. What are the top 3 secrets you will give to anybody today?
About
with regards to how to have a successful 8 years in marriage, because like we said, you don't know what a 9-year look like. You don't know what 8.1 look like. We just know it's 8 years now. You're going to be 8 years in September, or you're going to be 9 years?
Yeah, 8 years.
You're going to be 8 years in September. Yeah. So you don't know. You only know what 8 years look like. You don't know what 8.1 years. What would you say the top 3, your own top 3, that helps you on a daily basis to stay in this situation?
Yeah. So
successfully, not just still. Because we know a lot of people that stay just for stay.
So actually, that was the first thing I want to talk about, right?
Okay.
For me, success means you are still married, right? Maybe you might disagree with that a little bit.
Success means you are still married.
Success means you are still married.
Wow.
Now, I think I was having this conversation with my wife. I'm like, listen, if you ask me maybe 1 year or 2 before marriage. If you ask me before marriage, I probably tend to be a little bit judgmental about people that are divorced. If you ask me 3 years into marriage, I slightly, not all the way, I'm not really a judgmental person, but there's still that slight tone of judgment about Tonya, right? So there's still that slight part of me that's like judgmental about people that are divorced. Fast forward 7 years into the marriage. God help me, I would never judge anybody that are divorced, right? Because this is not easy, right? Marriage is a complicated institution, right? So if you are still married, it's God's grace. Embrace it, let's keep going, right? So success for me is the fact that you are still married, right? That you are still in this thing, you are still going through ups and downs, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downey anything at all. I'm just saying
you're not trying to minimize people's pain. No, yeah.
So I'm just saying the fact that you are still married is a success, right? So what are the top 3 things that I feel like is helping me, right, to be married to my wife? I think the first thing is respect.
Okay, respect.
Right.
Okay.
Respect. and respect shows up in different ways, right? I'll give an example. If we get in a very strong argument, right, which happens, right,
Yeah.
the respect will not let me go as far as my brain is probably telling me to go,
Right.
right? So maybe there are things that if I'm really that mad, there are things that I will say, right? But the fact that I respect my wife so much, I'm like, I just can't say that to her, right? So that's that. So that's me minimizing the damage right there. Now, there are the situations where I went too far, right? And when I went too far, God is my witness. Literally, minutes, hours later, I start feeling bad.
Yeah.
Even though I swear I'm right, I believe I'm right on that topic. But that's beside the point now.
That's irrelevant.
That's irrelevant. Right? But
Yeah.
at this very
Check this. So this is what I play for them all the
Yeah.
time, right?
Well, you're right.
We're gonna talk about Kamala when we get there, but the fact that you're right is irrelevant. You were saying. Yeah.
So the respecting is the fact that I respect you. Now, like I said earlier, that's a blessing, that's a curse, right? In the sense of like the way I think the way we were raised, right?
Okay.
So sometimes you just feel like I have to do something. Like, you know what? I will apologize later. I believe in this. I just have to go ahead and do it, right? So now, from my experience, that has come back to bite me many times, right?
That you want to fix things, that you want to apologize, that you want to. What came back to bite you in the
like?
butt?
I feel like this is the right step to take.
Okay, you felt like it was the right step to take.
Right step to take. You're not with me. It's okay. You're gonna come with me eventually when you see that it's working.
Right.
You know. So the fact that it's the right step doesn't mean it's gonna be successful, right?
Right.
There's a lot that goes in between after that. So we've had many situations like that where it came back to bite me, right? Where I'm like, damn. Now she's like, I'm right. I told you so. I'm thinking, well, it was the right thing to do, right? But at the same time, if the respect was where it needs to be, right, I would have waited to bring her along. Like, no, I'm not moving forward. So again, what I'm saying now is like textbook. In real life, it's not always
in textbook. It's so you're saying it's easier said than done, but just write it down.
Easier said than done.
Right.
Easier said than done. But the respect is I think is the number one thing that we should always strive, right? Like,
right,
respect this person, right?
Right.
Imagine if I'm Bill Gates and she is Warren Buffett, right? We are both billionaires in our own right. Even though Bill Gates might be right, but Bill Gates will make sure I carry Warren Buffett along, right? Like,
right.
I'm going to do whatever it takes to let you.
It's not good enough that you're right if the other person doesn't think you're right.
Exactly.
It's as useless as dead as wrong.
It's as useless. And even if you have success in that thing, the success is very temporary, right? How you make her feel in that process, she's going to have that feeling for such a long time, right? And vice versa. That's the success.
Right.
So the main thing is respect. It's easier said than done, but we always got to strive for it.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to respect this person, and that is going to show its end in different ways.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Okay.
Number two.
Number one is respect.
Respect. Number two would be friendship. Right?
Friendship.
That.
Okay.
That's got to be the core of it, right? Part of the core, part of the three cores, right?
Right.
That person got to be your person, right? And again, this is the advice I was giving someone earlier today, coincidentally.
Okay.
Right?
Did they take it well? Some people don't take it well, though. They're like, wait, friendship, you're not my friend, you're my, whatever the book tell them, that's what they want to go.
But the way I say it is like that person has to be your person, right?
Has to be your G.
That has to be your person.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only way I can really say what I'm saying. Like, So I'll give you an example. So obviously attraction, right? Attraction is somewhat embedded in that.
So in there, yeah.
Yeah, somewhat
Agreed.
embedded. So yeah, so you know, you guys marry, you like the person likes you, right? Character, everything. But then you guys are like really best friends, right?
Yeah.
You would rather hang out with each other. Yeah, there are moments you want to hang out with your girls or you want to hang out with your boys, but for the most part, like, no, I just want to watch Netflix with this person. Okay, right?
Yes.
You know, so that's your person. So even after a big fight, you will not feel right because you are not talking to your person. That's my person, right?
Yeah.
So even I think we're going to talk about cultural issue, right? So even when you're not really understanding each other for cultural reasons or whatnot.
For whatever reason,
For whatever reason, right? But that's still my person.
That's
right?
your G, that's
my G. I don't feel right our dynamics right now. Right. So the fact that you first you respect that person and the fact that that's really your person, you don't feel right and you're gonna find a way to find a solution to that thing, right? Like that's my person. I feel like sometimes maybe that's what Will Smith is saying when Will Smith is talking about
they don't get it. The most opinionated people on the internet are weirdos, so they won't get it. They'll just see a simp, of course.
Exactly. I feel like sometimes that's what Will Smith is saying. Like, yeah, I hear you. I get it. Jada is evil. I get it.
I get it.
Jada is not going anywhere.
Deal with it.
There's no Will Smith without that. You don't have to understand it, but that's just what it is, right?
Yep.
So, I think everybody got to find
their own person.
Their own person, right?
Yeah.
And that's bigger than attraction. That's bigger than, I'm not saying those things are not important, but it's definitely right?
Yeah. I think attraction is a function of that,
Correct.
It's like what you said earlier on, where you start backwards.
Correct.
Attraction is the first thing you get when you find a girl that you like. But that takes a backbone later on, because that attraction you had in the beginning, that one is going to get buried, because that person you're going to hit their guts at some point. They're going to get on your nerves.
Correct.
And then your friendship, depending on how strong your friendship is why the attraction might come back out. Correct. The one, but you will have moments where you can't stand that person that you were so quote unquote sexually, looks wise attracted to before. That's going to go away. Because they get on your nerves. Yeah.
Or a way to put it is that your definition of attraction now changes.
It changes.
Right? It changes. Before maybe it was looks or whatnot, but now you don't even see that, right? But what attracts you about this guy is completely.
It's deeper. It's not just looks. It's much more deeper now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So number 3 would be value.
Value. Okay. Value. When you say value, you're talking about moral values, personal values, market value.
So what was the third value you said?
Market value.
Oh, market value. Yes, right. Actually, it's all of the above, right?
All of the above.
So value would be moral value. I guess part of the moral value would be that's where religion comes to play.
Okay.
Right? Then financial values, right? Because when people say people divorce because of
finances,
that's not a mistake, right? That's actually real. That's real life.
That's real, yeah.
Right? Financial value, and I'm sure I'm missing some other thing, right? But pretty much how you guys see life.
How you see your outlook on life.
Your outlook on life has to be very similar. Now, I'm not talking about extremes. I'm not talking about one person believes in getting loans to invest in businesses. It's okay if the business doesn't succeed, you write it off, right?
Right.
That's one person, and the other person is Dave Ramsey, where you must save till you become a millionaire. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. You can have those two differences in marriage and makes it work. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about one person just values money, right? And the other person does not value money at all.
At all. The other person keeps saying money is not everything.
Exactly. The other person, money is not everything. Let's just spend all our paycheck. We'll be okay. God, and one person is really worried. Like, no, what are we doing? Are we saving? Are we investing in business? What are we doing? Right?
Right.
How our kids college? How is that going to pay for itself? Those kind of things, right? So one person believes in maybe cheating let's say you're in Nigeria right now, right? One person is like, nah, screw that. We're gonna cheat our way to the top, right? And the other person is
And the person like, I'm not touching anybody else's money. Are you mad?
Exactly. I don't want to be cursed, right? So I'm talking about just extreme end.
Right. I got you.
You both cannot be on the extreme end. I'll give you an example. Let's talk about religion, right?
Yeah.
Some people think a Christian and a Muslim marriage cannot work. I agree.
Well, I mean, you know better. You know, my wife is from Muslim house, so you know better. Anyway.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree. You can be a born again Christian, right? And you can be married to a Muslim woman, but your value system overall, which is we have to be nice, we have to treat people with respect. We have to be generous. We have to do these things, right? If your value system is the same, right, for the most part, eventually you're going to find out that the Muslim wife or Muslim husband is going to say, let me go to church with you. But there's nothing they're talking about in that church that bothers me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So your value system has to be on. But if one person is a murderer, right, believes in maybe it's okay to kill somebody, and one person is like, oh, I'm never going to kill somebody.
Like on two extreme of the end of any spectrum here,
exactly.
You will run into problems.
You will run into problems.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yes.
So I think those are my three top fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
Respect each other. Your communication. I mean, be your
respect. Friendship, respect, friendship, and value.
Exactly.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much for that. Let me see. We're misspelling stuff here. Let's get that right. Shola's secret to 8-year success in marriage. Not 8.1 years, 8 years.
8 years.
8 years is respect, friendship, and value. Now, you said some very interesting things that I want to dig in through. That's why, this 2-hour thing, but we'll try our best, You mentioned something about, we're going to come back to intercultural.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about the way we were raised, coming back to bite you in the butt. Okay? The way we were raised did come back to bite me in the butt. Okay?
Yeah.
So, but I want to hear yours. The way it came back to bite me in the butt is, I think we think we're the shit. Okay, the way we were raised, it's just two of us, right? Yeah. We do have a half sister, but the two of us with my mother and our father. My father has been here before. They met my father before, so and we still think we're the shit, by the way. But when you go into marriage with somebody that was raised completely differently, your level of grace, you might go bankrupt on the level of grace needed in marriage.
Yeah.
Right? Because naturally, the way you were raised, there's some things we just don't do. Right?
Yeah.
That we just are not going to do.
Yeah.
So when you do it, right, we are automatically potentially judging you. Maybe not directly, but we're like, how could you?
I mean, you will know.
Right? So, and that's the way he came back to bite me in the butt. So, but also because of the same thing you said in the beginning of the show, which is that I am stubborn.
Yeah.
I am so stubborn, I will figure shit out. If I don't figure it out, I just won't leave that stone unturned. A lot of people will just divorce and go into another relationship to encounter the same thing. I'm stubborn enough to say, I'm stubborn enough to maintain, obviously, I have to be healthy, I have to be good myself. But as long as that's there, I'm stubborn enough to figure this shit out, you know. And so eventually I figured out that, there's certain level of grace you're going to need to apply here and get your ass off of that pedestal of you're the shit, So that's how it came back to bite me in the butt. It took me a second to figure that out, right? how did it come back to bite you in the butt? You were talking about how, arguments and how you do the right thing. I know you kind of said it, but I want you to drill in a little bit deeper there in terms of how it came back to bite you in the butt, how we were raised.
So, was it when I was talking about respect?
I don't know which one of the secrets you were talking about,
Correct.
but you were talking about if you are right. I think you were talking about respect. When you know you're right, but respect is kind of like your internal boundary that you won't say the wrong thing. That kind of holds you back, even though you really badly want to say something crazy, right?
Correct.
It kind of holds you back, right? And there's been time that you do the right thing. You were kind of saying that lightly, that you've done the right thing, but overall, that part.
Yeah. So, I think the main thing is understanding that we are two different people, right? The fact that I see this thing does not mean the person will see it. And just to be just to be transparent a little bit, right? So, the way we were raised, right?
Yeah.
Feel free to tell me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Mommy is the go-getter.
She is.
Right.
And she's the one that I'm like, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My mother just turned 70 and she's studying for insurance policy and she passed everything.
Yep.
She's aggressive.
She got licensed.
She's recruiting everybody, right? So my mommy is very aggressive, right? And a good leader. Daddy is the complete opposite.
Yeah,
right?
she's chill.
Daddy is chill.
Don't have time for wahala. If you have wahala, he will avoid you.
Exactly.
Like
Daddy,
a plague.
Daddy is more of the value thing I talked about, where he won't cheat you.
Right.
He will always be nice.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to cross anybody. He is not confrontational, right? And I'm not kidding you when I tell you he's the greatest man on this planet of Earth.
Fact.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you will agree with that, still, right?
They all agree. They've met. Yeah. I mean, those that were here when it came. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Daddy will not cheat anybody, right?
Yep.
But there's a side of me now. We grew up partly in Nigeria, right? But there's a part of me that wishes Daddy was a little bit aggressive.
Yes.
That
like Baba Soji, like no, we can't be no.
Right.
right.
Listen, you are in Nigeria. Nigeria is a land of opportunity. Believe me, Nigeria is more opportunity than America. You agree with me or not? That's on you, right?
Yeah.
So my mindset is this, man. Like, you were in Nigeria, there's so much opportunity, and you were in America for many years, right? Daddy was in America for many years, and he's exposed to some of these things, right? So there's a part of me that wish Daddy was a little bit very aggressive,
right?
Growing up, just invest in business. Don't worry about screw everybody. Don't worry about what this.
He walks a straight line. You're like, can you get off the goddamn straight line for it? At least 1 second, small.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no straight line in Nigeria. Like, you have this business opportunity. You have this. You have this. Why didn't you take it? Why you worry about that person, right? So I'm growing up with a little bit of that resentment, and not resentment towards him,
not towards him, like you just wish it's just something you wish you were exposed to. A little bit more of that. Yeah,
I'm bringing that to my marriage in a way where I just want to make this move. Right. Let's do this, let's do that. Like, we gotta be aggressive. It's okay, we'll borrow money. My wife is more like chill.
Your beautiful wife, no dirty. We're going to talk about small, but go ahead.
My beautiful wife, no dirty. Daddy's like, no, babe, no, we gotta do this. We gotta save. We don't have enough money.
All the conservative measures.
Now, here's a good part. She's not even against investment. She's not against business. She's not against any of those things. She's just saying, hey, relax, chill. Let's put this in place. Let's do that. Let's do that. Right? So, but there has been many situations where I just went ahead and aggressive.
You did it.
Right? I did it. Right?
But you got burnt.
I got burnt.
That's real. That's real.
In my opinion, they are still 100% the right.
I mean, you're learning.
I'm learning, yeah.
But because she was there and she told you and you got burned, so all of this is playing out in your head.
Exactly. And if you know how a woman works, right? It's not gonna say, "Oh, that was a great decision. If you had just done this." No, she's
no.
She's saying, "No, I told you.
I was right.
I was right."
And
I'm thinking like, actually, that was a good decision. But that's what I meant, like the way we were raised. In the reverse. Now I'm trying to go a little bit too aggressive, right? Where I've been burnt. Now I'm learning to kind of slow down, like take a deep breath, right? Do listen to what she's saying, right? Now if she come out and say, no, we're not doing anything business, we're gonna retire and live on 401k, I'm like, you're on your own. Right? But she's not even saying that.
Right.
So it's more like just me slowing down a little bit. And
right.
That's where the respect.
We talked about that here. One of the few recent topics we talked about was when one partner is risk averse and the other one is just a gambler.
She thinks I'm a gambler.
She thinks you're a gambler, right? Yeah. So
I'm like, you haven't seen gamblers yet.
No. She hasn't seen gambler. Definitely. I know you're not a gambler. I'm the gambler.
Yeah.
If she thinks you're a gambler, what does she think I am?
You're a gambler on steroids.
Exactly. So, but it's good to know these things. The self-awareness, I think, is the key. In all of this, I had to learn that. You had to learn that your own way. So it's interesting. Now, you and I were risk takers.
Yeah. 100%.
To a large extent, to a significant large extent. Yeah. And I have to learn that. I had to learn that years after, I think you graduated master's degree like a semester after me.
Yeah.
But we were kind of like for that last 4 or 5 years, like we were doing things concurrently at the same time, and subsequently, most of your best friends are my best friends as well, So some of these things are stuff that we've over the last 25 years now that we've kind of like watched it play out. So it's interesting that you see things that way. We talk all the time, but we are mostly probably arguing to agree, or argue to disagree, or argue to say, you know what, gotta go, right? So we go back and forth, and we don't just, me and you just don't go back and forth. I go back and forth with my mom. You don't go back and forth with my mom, but I think you go back and forth with daddy a little bit.
No, actually, no.
You don't?
No.
Oh, so I'm the only one that go back and forth with them?
100%, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
No, I refuse to believe that. No, I don't think that. Let me think this through properly. So you just always agree with them?
No, I don't. I barely agree on some of them.
But you don't do the back and forth?
I don't do back and forth.
Okay, you don't do the back and forth. But me, I will do the back and forth a little bit more. And then get burnt, because I never really get anywhere with that.
Yeah, like both of them are in their 70s. Like, really. Like,
Right. So, but there are some things that these days are mostly things that I feel like I can't let you get away with that. No, we got to sort that out, right? Over time, I've also adjusted that some things are not just going to.
Correct.
They're just not going to fly. But I think there have been times that you call me, and you're like, this, they're like, even recently, there was something you said that you should stop, and I said, no, it's not going to do it. Don't worry about it, right? So there are things like that. But I agree with you overall. I probably do more back and forth with our parents more than, which is probably why you said I was stubborn earlier on. But it's okay. So I'll take it in
like
good faith.
Explain stuff.
I do a lot of shalaye. So here,
I'm like, no, these people are not changing. Let me save my energy.
Yeah.
Okay, but I heard you. Great.
Yeah. So here on this platform, the Prestige family, right? Oftentimes I will play this soundtrack for them.
Explain, because no evidence.
You go explain. And sometimes some of them, I don't know where Uncle Beno is. Some of them will be like, "Oh, it's because you don't have experience." No, it's because I have experience. I said, "Don't tell you, you're not going to get anywhere." I'm talking from personal experience, hands-on experience that you're not going to get anywhere explaining yourself. Yeah. So it's good that at least you're shedding light on it because you're the one that know me all my life. We literally slept in the same bedroom all the way till I was about to go marry.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay. All right. So anyway, so now let's get into intercultural marriages.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've done a lecture here before. I will try to pull these things out and see if I can list them somewhere where it's easy for people to access them. On this platform, we have, let me see how many videos. There are tons of videos, masterclasses on this platform. Some of them are labeled as UL Edochie, and some of you are missing it. Some of them are not labeled as UL Edochie, so you don't watch it because it doesn't seem as entertaining. But on this platform, we're literally 100 videos shy of 2,000 videos. They are all masterclasses. All of them. I don't care if they're 10 minutes. I don't care if they're 2 hours. They're all masterclasses that you can gain 1 or 2 lessons in or argue with your destiny after you watch it. It's one of the two. So one of them we talk about the dimensions that you don't want to be crossing if you're going to do marriage.
Yeah.
You can cross them, but you just have to be aware. Be self-aware that some of these things will create friction.
Yeah.
So my father told us a story. I don't know if they told you. If they told you, you probably don't remember. I remember everything. They told me a story of somebody going to another street. They said back then, if you go to there's certain street in Usho, our village. If you go there and marry, that they are known to have lakpa, kurupa, ringworm in that street. So if you go to that street, they are known on that street that they will have things like that. So they don't tell you not cross it, but they will just let you know. Only walking ni komode ma gegi no walking ni komode ma danu gbogbe. Right? To bat le no koma dete. Walking ni komode ma dete. That to bat le danu gbogbe. Yeah. Like if you can live in the woods by yourself, they won't tell you not to catch leprosy as long as you can live in the woods by yourself, in the jungle by yourself. Okay. So they warn you, and that's essentially what I did. People have crossed all these dimensions and successfully stayed married for a lifetime.
Yeah.
But we also know that these dimensions, when you cross them, they create certain level of frictions that can take your marriage out.
Yes.
If you're not operating from a place of self-awareness.
Yeah.
If you're just in love and you're not ready to learn anything. So there's interracial marriages, there's intercultural marriages, there's interreligion marriages. You mentioned that example earlier on, the way we were raised raised our teenage years as SUs. Yeah. You can't even go to another church. They're going to look at you some type of way if you cross that line. But we've crossed that line above and beyond. I went into a Muslim family to go and marry. You went all the way to 80 to go and marry. Yes, so these are the dimensions. You just have to be aware that they will create friction and be prepared to deal with those friction when they happen.
Yeah.
Now, the dimension you crossed will be considered a lot more. I don't know what's the unit we should use here? You really crossed wide, right? For me, even my mother-in-law, she plays both. She's a Christian and a Muslim at the same time. And my wife, I've always claimed to be a Christian. I just found out later on that she didn't go to church as much as I thought. But anyway, we thank God. Right? So
now she's a mother in Israel.
Now
she's a mother in Israel.
Now I guess you could say that, So we've crossed all this line. It's a very long-winded question, I know. But the point I'm making here is this, like all these lines you're not crossed. Now, you have crossed the ocean, you crossed everything, now Haitians, they kind of have a lot of similarities with Nigerians.
Yeah.
But I still don't think it's the same. And I know you have certain type of experiences some things you can share with us, but at least share with us what are the things to look out for if you're going to cross that line. Now, would you agree that you're more traditional than me?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. It's interesting that you're admitting to that. Anyway, thank you. Sola is a lot more traditional than me. Before you met Nodeti, you probably swore up and down that you're not going to marry anything that's not Yoruba.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to go there.
All right, so please go there.
Yeah,
now. You can take it anywhere you want.
Yeah. So actually, my ex-girlfriend, she's Igbo.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you remember her.
Of course, I remember her. Yeah.
So she's Igbo, and I've dated many people before then, right? But when I met her, it was just, we just clicked. It was like, yo, she's crazy, right? And she's crazy. Her hair was short, and she dyed her hair purple, I think.
She was wild.
She was wild, right? She's younger than me. Never that much younger, but she was younger than me.
She wasn't that much younger, yeah.
And she was raised in West Orange, right? But there was just something about that just attracted me to her, right?
You like the spicy. She was spicy.
I just like this, all of that, right? So, but then one of the major reasons we broke up was just over the time I'm like, yeah, I don't see myself marrying this person, right? Has nothing to do with the fact that she's able. Has nothing to do with the fact that she's Christian, she go to church, right? So has nothing to do with the fact that she was raised in America, 100%. She's American, everything, right? So has nothing to do with that, right? So it comes back to some of those things I mentioned earlier, right? The communication, the value system, and stuff like that, right? So when I met my wife at the church, we both go to the same church, right? I was playing keyboard for the church. She was part of the choir.
Right. Oh, wait, you play keyboard too? Who taught you that?
Definitely not you.
Okay, all right. Continue.
You probably want to believe that, but no. It's not you.
But at least you were looking forward to playing keyboard like me, even if I didn't teach you.
Correct. You started playing, so that piqued my interest as well. Like, okay.
Don't worry. I'll take credit for everything if you let me. Don't let me. Exactly. Continue. Yeah.
So I saw her. We started talking. We became friends, right? And it just took off from there, right? So if you met me before, right? So now I'm like, if you ask where I'm from, I'm like, hey, I'm a Yoruba guy. It's closed.
Case closed.
I don't want to hear nothing else. I'm a Yoruba guy, right? Definitely, I'm not going to say I'm African, which I am African, right? But
but that story is like, there's something about me too, or there's something that I feel when people say I'm African or I'm West African. I'm like, what is that? I'm not sure what that means, but okay, all right, sure. But something in my head, like, wait, what? You're what? Okay.
At the bare minimum, say I'm Nigerian. Right?
Nigerian, that's as far out I'm gonna go,
Exactly. So I'm a proud Yoruba guy. Right? But then over time, right, some things matters and some things don't.
Yeah.
So when our uncle, Brother G, came over here,
you're talking about the High Chief Oladimeji Abitogun. They've met him too, yeah.
Oh, you've met Uncle Deji? Okay.
Yeah.
So when we're talking in the car with Uncle Deji, so we started talking about back end insult in Nigeria, right? So, for example, if you offend somebody on the street, right? They'll be like, Uncle, my for you later.
Right.
Like,
you're going to slap Uncle. I'm going to slap you.
Uncle, I'm going to slap you. So
okay.
You respected me by calling me uncle,
but
right? But
you're about to slap me. Okay. Okay.
Like, Daddy, I don't have money, right?
Yeah. I'm not buying any egbon. Egbon buyer.
You call him egbon. You call him like I'm respecting you as my.
Right. You gave the person the respectful title per Yoruba, but you're disrespectful.
And you are disrespectful. Exactly. Or a woman came inside the house and the woman kind of greets mommy like this, right?
Right.
Went down, but
I'm supposed to want to be a wife.
Yeah, and flip side does not respect the mom, right? So I started to kind of put differences between what are the gestures, right? The gestures. The Yoruba people, we are very big on gesture, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we put too much value in those gestures
Gesture.
compared to
We do.
compared to the actual respect.
Right. As in like respecting the human being.
Respecting the human being.
Right.
So first thing I've realized over time, right, is that as human beings, in my opinion, we are 99.999% the same, right?
Yes.
The value
we have a lot more in common than we like to admit.
Than we like to admit. Our value system, our friendship, communication, how much emphasis we put on these things, we are alike in a way.
Yeah.
So I have realized that over the time, right? So, and that has helped me, right?
Right.
However, right, I'm not gonna BS anybody.
You're not gonna front.
I'm not gonna front.
Tell me.
However, those gesture thing I talked about shows their head more often.
Oh yeah, they're highlighted.
Yeah, I like.
They rise to the top. You're like,
yeah, exactly. You don't want it to be highlighted, but they are very highlighted.
Right. And we weren't raised that way. We were raised almost as some more traditional people might see us as even disrespectful. We have cousins that we call by name that are older than us.
Correct.
So we're not the most traditional.
Correct. But
right?
that's the kind of part of who we are.
But it's part of who we are. So they get highlighted
exactly
when you cross that dimension.
Exactly. So now I'm getting older, right? So there are certain things that kind of like, yeah, but don't talk to me that way, right? And
you feel some type of way.
Yeah, I feel some type of way. So this is where the culture kind of show its ugly head, right?
Yeah.
If she was a Yoruba person,
she already knew that.
She kind of know that.
Right.
I can't talk to this guy like this now. You know, we have 2 children.
Right.
We have 2 children, and if he's in Nigeria right now, some people will be calling him Papa.
Yeah. I was coming out of the church 2 weeks ago. Some kid was like, "Hi, Grandpa." I was like, "Who's your grandpa?"
Exactly. So even though I've spent probably most of my life in America, but that's still kind of part of who I am.
It's a part of who you are. Yeah, it's inside. It's there.
It's exactly. So respect to me sounds a little bit different than how it sounds to her.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, but why would you say that? It's like, no, that's not what I meant. Like, I literally just make this in the literally English language.
She was just being as plain as, but something feels some type of way in your head.
I feel some type of way. So now the responsibility is on both of us, right? Number one, to respect each other, right? So if I'm telling you this bothers me,
right?
Understand that I'm not making it up. It actually does.
It's real. Once somebody complains, like we're going to talk about toxic masculinity here in a second. Well, some people will say there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. I say once that label is created, it might not be what you will mean to call it. You got to listen. You have to. It's now real. Yeah.
Exactly. So, oh Lord, it's getting dark. Sorry.
It's getting dark. But you're not sweating or anything like that, right?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, let me know if you need break. Okay. All right.
So now it's a matter of, do we respect each other, right? So now, if you respect each other, then you will know what I'm telling you is real to me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like how you phrased that. There's a better way to phrase it, right?
Yeah.
Sound disrespectful to me, right? Now, but to be honest with you, even the more I kind of read up on this topic, read comments, every man feels the same way. Every man wants.
It's consistent. It's constant. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it kind of shows itself. So, but the responsibility is on both of us.
Right.
To respect one another, to communicate. Right. Communicate. Make sure we're talking, and hopefully we get to a more. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a synergy, right? Hopefully, we
a polarity where you overall at least it's not perfect, but overall you get to some place where you understand each other at that level.
Exactly. Like I'll be honest. One of the reasons why we got married, and I'm like, no, this is my wife, right? Before we got married, she came with us to Nigeria.
She came to Nigeria with us in 2015. Yes.
Nigeria with us to
Yeah.
has funeral services.
Right.
She's blended well, right?
She blended. Yeah.
She goes to my church, which is
Yeah.
mostly Nigerian people, right? She knows all the Nigerian music, right? But
She even knows the slangs.
she knows the slang. She will say,
Baleo, she can sing Baleo, she can do all the
she will say Joe. She will say something.
right.
A few days ago, she said something Joe. I'm like, did you just say Joe? And I burst out laughing, right?
But all of that is cute until it's real life.
It don't matter.
All that is cute until you enter the situation.
Yeah, the real argument. The real argument. Then I'm like, yeah, you are not Nigerian, right?
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm not saying that, but in my head, I'm like, you are not Nigerian.
So now you have to face the reality.
Now I have to face the reality of it, right? So, and those reality will show itself anyway. So either through culture or through personality differences.
Yes.
Or race, or it could be during religion. Those things will find a way to show itself.
Right, because real life is playing out. So yeah.
It's a matter of how do we respect each other? Do we communicate well to kind of nip it in the bud?
Yeah.
So, it's not easy by any means, right? But if I'm advising anybody, honestly, I'll just say, listen, this is 2024, right? You've been in the United States for a long time. Do you plan on going back home?
Adjust yourself. It's funny that you said that, right? Because I make the responsibility the person that's complaining. That's our principle here. If you are the one complaining, it's your responsibility to adjust. It doesn't mean that person will not have to join you in the direction you're trying to go. But that dance you're looking for, people are always quick to say it takes two to tango. I said, you're talking about the tango. We're talking about now let's talk about the person who's going to ask the person a hand in a dance. That's what we need to be talking about, because that's going to be the reality. It takes two to tango is basically unrealistic, because it's talking about we're going to start as simultaneous. You're going to be waiting forever because somebody is taking an offense. You're taking an offense, like you said. They have their own outlook on life. It's not even their fault.
Yeah.
It's not this is not part of their comprehension of what made them or what socialized them.
Exactly.
You're coming from a different socialization. So you're going to have to be patient, not with her, but yourself first.
Correct.
That this is not even your fault.
Correct. So the only way I will push back a little bit on that, right? If the person is being stubborn, if the other person is being stubborn, right? Oh, I'm sorry, this is who I am, right? I can't change who I am, kind of thing, right?
Right.
If the person is not making an adjustment, or at least show that she is making an adjustment, right? Yeah, it could be one issue, but that behavior, start adding up. It shows in different ways. And before you know, one person is building resentment towards the other.
Facts.
And those are typically doors where those are the cracks where
so I'm going to push back.
Yeah.
Thanks for the pushback. I'm going to push back. If that person is being stubborn and they refuse to change, now what?
Oh, he adds up.
I know it adds up, but now what? You're in it. We're talking about you, right? But it adds up. But now what?
But those are the exact reason why many people are divorced today. It's literally
Facts.
a combination of little things, right?
Facts.
Not even the massive things. But those are the reason why some people.
No, it's not because somebody molested somebody's daughter. No, that's not. It's the simple stuff.
But
yes.
It adds up because somebody left a crack in their marriage, right? When those things could easily be fixed. Like, you know what? Okay, he doesn't like me to talk to him that way, right? Or let's talk about basic stuff like nurturing, right? Nurturing your husband, right? If your husband is telling you like, yo, you don't nurture me at all, in any way,
like you don't feel any sense of, this feminine energy. Exactly. Let's call it out.
Feminine energy. Exactly. Some women cannot cook, right? There are literally Nigerian women that cannot cook, right?
Right.
But they will make sure their husband is fed.
Right.
You get what I mean? Right. So when we say, oh, we like to be nurtured, doesn't mean I want you in the kitchen slaving away.
It doesn't mean the specifics that we like to dwell on.
Exactly. It's not the specifics, right? So if you are a nurturing person, to me, it's a character thing. It will show itself one way or the other to the point that the husband will be the one actually cooking,
Right.
right? Because the husband knows for a fact you are very nurturing. But if your husband is making that noise over and over and over and over that you are not nurturing, you are kind of just stern, right? It's almost like eventually it sounds like a little thing, but it start adding up. It start adding up, right? Then you are busy being like, oh, I can't do everything, right? I work like you work, I come home like you come home, I'm tired like you're tired, blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, the man is not telling you to be a slave. That's not what he's saying at all.
Right.
Right.
Right. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, and I think this is a good example of. I get a lot of pushback, even right here on this platform.
Yeah.
Right. If you're a woman and you come to me and you're complaining, I'm gonna flip it now, right?
Yeah.
And you're complaining about your man, and you're saying he's doing this, he's doing that, and doing that, right? The responsibility and accountability is on you, not of the tango, of initiating the journey to create the result you're looking for. The initiation of it. You see what I'm saying? The tango is the end result.
Correct, but the person still has the husband has to say, like, you know what?
No, but the husband is not here. I'm dealing with you. You're the one complaining to me.
Correct.
Right? So I might even need to engage your husband at some point. Of course. Right? But it's very important to take full extreme ownership of the initiation of the journey.
So if she has talked to the husband that, okay, I don't feel appreciated, right? By the way, don't worry where I heard that from before, right? If you have talked to the husband that, oh, I don't feel appreciated,
right?
You bring it up, and the husband is like, oh, I've done this, and she's still saying like, oh, I don't feel appreciated, right?
Right. So that's a conversation between the two of them now, and that communication breakdown has happened before they end up with me.
Correct.
Right. So I acknowledge all of that. Right. You've tried to talk to each other. It doesn't work. For the most part, it never works. Right. So now we're talking about you. You're listening to this right now. You could be a man. You could be a woman. It doesn't matter. You feel like there's a problem. Right. Usually these people come to me with their own medication. They want me to feed to them. They say, hey, they want me to actually call their spouse for them and correct their spouse. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah. But the spouse has a role to play.
Of course. Because you're not in the marriage by yourself.
Correct.
The problem is that most people, their focus is on the end result. There's a process that we have to go through to get to that end result.
Correct.
And I'm very adamant about realizing the importance of this initiation, because it's very important. Because a lot of people, they say, I've tried everything. What they're talking about is they've argued and they've talked to their partner, and the partner has just, if not greater amount of coconut head.
Yeah, so I think some people are still stubborn too, right? Regardless of, I'm sure you've dealt with those kind of people. Like, they're just stubborn. They're stuck in their way. Like, no, like, I'm doing all I can do. I hear you. You want me to respect you better. You want me to nurture you better, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm not a wood, right? I'm not a wood. You know, I mean, if you read these comments online, it's like, oh, time has changed. We are not like our mothers, right? We are not slaves, like,
Yeah.
So if somebody is coming with that kind of attitude already,
right,
it's almost like good luck in initiating any kind
of. So let's say somebody come with that, right?
Yeah.
We're going into the masculinity stuff now, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's say somebody come with that, and they have that attitude, of me. I'm not going to be stuck in the kitchen. I do too much house chores already and stuff like that. Let's say a guy comes to me.
I work like you. Our house, right. our bills is 50-50. So why do I need to nurture you different?
So two things. Let's take two examples. These are two things. What you just said is one thing, but it's actually two things, right? Yeah. One thing is that, let's say it's the man that came to me and say my wife is saying this, right? That's different from the wife coming to me and say, I'm tired, but my husband is not listening to me. It's the same issue at the core, right? But it's two different people that came to me.
Correct.
Right? So the man that came to me that said, this is the kind of rhetoric, this feminist nonsense on the internet that my wife is bringing to me. She's trying to play this equality nonsense with me. And honestly, I'm getting tired. I've already talked to a lawyer. But I don't want to do that because I don't want my children to end up with a broken home.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to tell the gentleman, relax. First of all, you're safe now, okay?
Yeah.
You've been doing the heavyweight lifting all by yourself, and it clearly has not worked, right? You've tried to hold her, quote unquote, accountable. It did not work.
Correct.
Right. So now, first of all, disengage from that. Slow down.
Okay.
Okay. You have a wife that don't see things the way you see it.
Correct.
But you've already done what I'm asking you to do. You took initiative to come to me.
Correct.
We're going to continue that same lane. I'm not asking you anything extra. We're going to take full ownership of changing the direction that your marriage is going down the drains.
Correct.
We're going to take full ownership of how we're going to change that direction. That person is a coconut head. There's no doubt about that.
Correct.
There's no doubt. We're not going to sit down and argue like some people are more stubborn than you. Like, listen, people are stubborn in marriage. Is this what it is? Okay? Because they are right and they know they are right.
Correct.
And they have their right.
Correct.
We've talked about being right here already.
Yeah.
But we know that righteousness is going to end up, they're going to end up in the poto.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we know that fact already. Now, you as an individual, you don't want that to happen. You know, full ownership is going to be key here. Full ownership does not equate to overall full responsibility and all. We're just saying that this person, if they care about anything at all, right, there are ways that you can influence them to start listening to you, but you're going to have to lead with listening to where they're coming from. If the woman came to me, right?
So before you continue, I was going to say that. So
right.
From a woman's standpoint, the woman coming to the husband or coming to you, saying, "I don't feel respected,
right?
I don't feel appreciated,
right?
My husband is just making all these demands, right?
I don't feel seen." We covered. My husband doesn't see me anymore.
I don't feel seen.
We covered that here yesterday.
Right? I don't feel seen. So if it comes to you, how does she owns that 100% initially?
Yeah,
right?
Good point. Good question.
Without engaging the husband.
Good question, right? So one thing that's 100% true is that you attract who you are. We're not talking about the specifics of the event.
Correct.
We're talking about just your reality. You chose to marry this person at some point, right? And most of them would agree that I have not been an angel too. You know? Right? So okay, all right, let's work on that first. In the midst of working on all of that, right, I'll learn more about your husband. There's something that your husband cares about. That's what we're going to use. You know, like in physics, there are leverage points, right? There are leverage points. There's overall, you can pull from anywhere. Most people in marriages are trying to pull from all angles, and usually it's the angles that's the point of contention to them. Correct. And the other person is finding it offensive.
Correct.
And they're like, well, that's not fair. They don't think it's fair because they won't address their own issue. That's what most people that say both of us are responsible and they want to address things from that standpoint, really what they're thinking subconsciously is their own point of view. That's what they're thinking. Correct. You see what I'm saying? So I can see further than the same thing is true for me. If this was my marriage, I can only see as far as my own selfish motives.
Correct.
Right? So now me being the person who is going to counsel and say, listen, I'm going to show you some other things. And I have my little things that I use to show you like this. There's an angle. Remember you said earlier that there's a blind spot that every individual cannot see.
Correct.
So, and most people don't account for that when they say it takes two to tango. They don't account for that. So we work on you first. And yes, it feels like it's unfair. It feels like, how can you work on a marriage when there's another person involved? Trust me, we will get there. Calm down. You're carrying weight that you can't carry. Relax. Correct. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. This is true on both ends anyway.
Yeah, I agree. You know, for the most part, I agree with everything you say. You know, but I think it's a big problem all in all.
overall. Let's talk about that now.
I think I think the old modern woman thing is subconsciously a big problem, right? But even those that don't really are as extreme as the one that all over the place, the younger ones, right? Everybody's influenced in a certain way.
People are paying attention. They are the loudest on the internet. They're the loudest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's almost like like feminist movements, right? Where women were mistreated for years.
Right.
Women were second-hand citizens. Women cannot vote. Women had no voice. Women were like, sorry for my language, was like a second-hand
slave. They were slaves, essentially. They were just as good as slaves, just like the children.
Exactly. So now we have our generation or people after us where they are overreacting to that. They are bringing it to the extreme end, right? Now where they're like, oh no, we're not going to be slave anymore, right? We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this.
So it's a lashback. There's a massive lashback going on.
Massive lashback. So I feel like we are in that lashback era, and we're not even over it yet, right? And that would bite, and that's this whole extreme feminist movement, right? You can link that somehow to LGBTQ, transgenderism, all that stuff.
Right.
But I think eventually that has to run its course, right? And we have to somehow find a balance over time, right? I just don't think that time is now, right? Yeah. Some of the things I read is just crazy. It's wild, right?
Right.
I'm like, yeah.
So there's the because I was reading up a little bit on this too. So we have a mutual friend, and he went through some very, very crazy stuff in his marriage, right? And his wife dumped him, left him, and at least according to his story, she was quite nasty about how she went about it. According to his own side of the story, we haven't spoken to the wife, and she moved on with another dude from right under his roof, something crazy like that. I'm just kind of paraphrasing a little bit, right? So he's been recording some videos in recent times and pushing them out there. And you and I had a conversation, and we've had conversation like this over the past too, because I covered this stuff anyway. And then I'm always of the opinion that yes, men are going through some things, that it's going to be hard to pick it apart, because the moment we're trying to pick this apart, the women are saying, me too, what about what we've gone through? So it gets all mixed up in the conversation. Today we're focused on the men's plight, right? So, and me, I'm of the opinion that men lashing back is a bloody thing. It shouldn't happen. It needs to be done in a controlled environment. In fact, we should remove the word lash, right? But I think we should bring it. Our personality think we should bring it out to individual case by case level. Yeah. Make sure that you, as a man, that you're good, that you're taken care of, self-love, pedicure, manicure, soft life. You as a man, you deserve that too. So I pound that as much as possible here. Right. Unfortunately, some of them don't listen long enough before they hear that. Yeah. What they hear is somebody pandering to women once they see that you're calling out another bullshit case by case. So anyway, he's recording, but we can hear direct shots at the ex, right? Yeah. And then you push back at me that, some people, when they don't say these things, they become the S word. We can say S on YouTube so that we don't flag the algorithm. We can use. Yeah, the big S, the super S, negative S. Okay. Just say the bad S, commit S, Okay. Just we don't want to flag the video wrongly, right? So, and it's true. There's a heightened number of men committing the ultimate S. Let's call it the ultimate S. Taking themselves out, self-deletion. You can say self-deletion. Self-deletion, there you go. So because of emotional suppression, right? Because of the unrealistic expectations of success from a man, a man is expected to provide and subconsciously he holds himself accountable to that, even if it's not really his personality, even if it's not a go-getter like us, like, even if it's not that guy, a subtle subconscious part of him expects himself to do that, in addition to societal pressure, of course, right? And then we also have the crisis of the masculinity, or the toxic masculinity, if you will, right? There's a confusion in what masculinity means. Now, growing up with our father, me and you, I don't have that confusion. I saw a man. But I also saw a man that won't overstretch himself trying to compete with his woman and trying to be go-getter. He never competes. Like, you want that, I'll support as far as I can. Right?
Self-sufficient.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And if you over assess him, you might see selfishness. Yeah. No, he's not seeing you like that. He's just in his own lane, So, and that's what I try to preach here. Like, hey, like, we're not asking you to be, in the internet right now today, they have the stoic thing. Stoic means you can see the veins on their face. That's what stoic means to them. The way I was raised, stoic means my dad. He's not moved. It's a rock. Yeah. It's not fazed by your BS, No. That's what stoic means to me, and that's what I think it needs to mean, because a lot of times I just yelling on the top of their lungs and it really doesn't get anywhere. The only thing you might do is push your wife to go ahead and become one of the 80% that are initiating divorce, So, and that's not a matter of right and wrong, as you've said. It's just the reality that plays out for some people that are not so lucky, right? And last but not least, a limited support network for men, which is why I'm happy to come and have this conversation with you today. Yeah. So in terms of speaking out loudly, right? Let's talk about this thing. What's the balance for you? If, God forbid, something happens, would you find yourself on the internet throwing shots at your ex-wife?
Yeah. So there was a video I shared on my IG page a few days ago.
Okay.
So pretty much during their wedding, right? During their wedding, the new bride was sitting down.
Right.
They had a screen behind them, and so the husband decided to show a video of him catching, or some eating video of the wife cheating.
Really?
The new wife.
You shared it on your story or on your actual wall?
I shared on my IG story.
Okay, right? So it's disappeared now. Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much like this man waited like a whole year or 6 months after discovering that this lady cheated, right? So he actually waited till they did the wedding ceremony, and on the wedding ceremony, he decided to expose her. To expose her to the whole world to see, right? So I shared that. I'm like, you know what? I appreciate his savagery.
Right? Oh, that's petty. You appreciate the pettiness of it.
I agree with you 100%, right? So if I'm advising somebody, I would definitely say, no, please do not do that.
You said don't do that, but you felt his pain or something.
I felt his pain at that moment, right? Imagine the pain this man has went through for 6 months, for 1 year, right? And I don't think the wife confessed to him. I don't think she did any of those things, right? But he has everything on video, right? So it didn't show her like them having sex, but just enough evidence
to that she cheated.
She cheated, to embarrass her publicly, right? So, and I think that was the angle I was coming with, right?
Right.
Men.
Well, you can't tell people how they will react, or
correct.
So also, you also said some people need that as their outlet. You mentioned outlet.
Correct. Like, I can advise you, right? Like, yeah, don't do that. Yeah, you might regret that you might regret that, 2 years
down the road. Yeah.
I can do that all day, right? But my biggest angle has been, and it's been this way for like 2 years, right? Or 3 years or so. Like, I feel like men are in so much pain. Men have been in so much pain over the century, right? And somehow this pain is shown as being aggressive, right?
Okay.
This pain is shown
In
as,
anger.
This pain is shown as anger.
Right.
Pain is shown as womanizing, right? Because now I have to sleep with multiple women to show my manhood, right? To show.
So you're saying a lot of people feel the need to do that as a way, as a weakness, and you're saying it's insecurity that they're showing out like that.
Is a way for them to prove something to themselves, right? So it's not even like side chick, like a concubine, right? I think concubine would be a fancy word for side chick, right?
Right.
You know, legit, like some men are in love with their concubine, right?
Fact. Yeah, that's the safer zone.
That's a safe zone. So that's not what I'm talking about. Some actually go and just sleep with multiple women, right? They're like womanizers. Is a way for them to mask whatever insecurity and pain they're going through. You get what I'm trying to say?
Right, got it. Yeah. It's an outlet. There's something else going on deep inside that makes them show this behavior or behavioral symptoms.
Exactly. Alcoholism, right? Some just depend on alcohol to take that pain away, right? Being an abuser, right? Being an abuser sometimes is as a result of the pain they go through, or as a result of the trauma they witness how their father treated their mom.
Right. So they learn that somehow, some way.
They learn that somehow, right? So again, it's a reflection of the pain going on inside of them, right? So that's the angle I was coming in when we're talking about this.
When we're talking, yeah. I mean, to me, it was clear. Once you said outlet, I'm like, okay, this is a conversation we need to have. That's one.
I think it's not even the worst outlet
ever. No. That's probably one of the safest.
That's one of the safest.
Right.
Video. Yeah. You know what, you want to talk about it? As a matter of fact, you can take it to the extreme. You can write a book about it. Right. You can start. They can do a story about you. You can do reality TV. You can sell your screen. You can sell your story as a movie. Right. Those things are all outlets. It's not a worst. To me, a worst outlet would be
the self-deletion. That's the ultimate. Some people are doing that. Some people go through that type of experience and they deleted themselves. That's a fact. Yeah.
People do self-deletion to just get themselves out of the way. You know, there was last year or 2 years ago, there was a gentleman that was recording himself. Right. He went to, I think I can use the word delete, right?
Delete.
He went to delete his girlfriend at that time. Then he went to delete his own baby.
I remember that story. Yeah, big guy. Yeah.
He deleted his own baby and was recording everything live. And he said, "Oh, I'm about to go delete myself right now."
Yeah.
Now, tell me that person is not in pain, right?
Yeah, it's pain. It's pain.
He has some kind of mental issue thing going on that over the years nobody has listened to him. I was joking about it. I was joking about it like on Mother's Day, right? On Mother's Day, the pastor will praise the woman at church, right? On Mother's Day at church, the pastor will praise the woman.
And on Father's Day, they praise the woman.
They praise the woman and they will scold the men.
They told the men?
They will scold the men.
They scold the men, okay.
Pastors have the way with words.
Right.
Women are the greatest in the world, and they will scold the men. On Father's Day, they will praise the men a little bit, and they will go ahead and scold the men anyway. Right?
At least in your church, they praise them.
so it's like a back end. It's like a back end. So it's almost like guys have no outlet.
Right.
You know, so even at work, right? When you go to work, at least in America anyway, a lot of the sexual molestation law within work.
They don't use the M word.
Oh, sorry. A lot of the SM things.
Right. What's the best one?
It's typically in context with women.
Right. Well, the numbers shows that it's mostly against women.
Correct. Well, so that Or does the number show that because women has reported it over
The reporting are
more
not necessarily accurate. That's true.
Yeah, they are more comfortable
Right.
reporting it.
Because men will rather take themselves out than report that.
Who are you gonna tell?
Right. You probably will get shamed for it too.
Who are you gonna tell that my female boss, who
Mm-hmm.
is somewhat good looking, is grabbing me by my
Yeah, that's wussy behavior. That's
wussy
wussy.
behavior? Even if you tell your friends, they'll be like, boy, are you okay? So what did you do?
Okay, so what did you do? You reported? Okay, oh.
Did you take
Right.
out after that kind of thing?
Yeah, we know the right thing to do. Is it the right thing? I'm not even sure. But we feel some type. We don't know exactly what to call that. At least.
Exactly. You can't
Yeah.
you can't use the SM thing. You can't do that because the society will
Sexual harassment. You could say sexual harassment.
Yeah, you can't say sexual harassment, but the society will look at you like, are you okay? So what?
Right.
Remember this guy Terry Crews, right? Terry Crews, the actor.
Terry Crews, yeah.
Terry Crews came out like somebody, some Hollywood actor guy grabbed him
Yeah.
at the party, and as opposed to the society, say, who is this guy? Tell us.
Right.
No.
Right. It's normally on a normal day, if it's as we see it on paper, it should that should be part of the cases of the Me Too. But somehow that's not part of Me Too.
That's not Me Too. As a matter of fact, society will look at him like, well, so what did you do? Like, so it becomes a Terry Crews blame thing. Nobody is talking about the actual bad person.
As opposed to the accountability that would normally go to anybody who is a female who is saying the same thing.
Exactly. So I think these were the statistics I brought up when we had that conversation. I said men are self-deleting at a 4 times rate.
Right.
Overall, as a society, we all go through some kind of mental issue, right? Depression, anxiety, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And even when it comes
Panic
to
attacks, all that stuff.
When it comes to women, hormonal issue kind of magnifies that as well.
It does.
Right? So women go through hormonal issues, so that magnifies that. But over the years,
For men, it's just normalized. That's just being a man. Stop crying like a.
Over the years, women have been taught. They've been taught to deal with this from a teenage years, right? How to compartmentalize their emotion, how to talk to people, how to talk to your friends. If you're lucky, you have your dad and your mom. You can always reach out to your dad. You can always reach out to your mom.
Right.
If you go to a place of worship, church, there's a system in place, right? Women have women conference where they do a lot of kumbaya stuff. Right?
And the men barely come to church at all.
And the men barely come. All the church is not even safe for men.
Is that why? Because let me put this in. I have men push against the idea of therapy or seeking help. All right, they push against it. They have valid points when they do, but the point is that they are pushing against it, especially quote unquote traditional men. Right? Anything that look like Oyibo stuff.
Because we just start making noise about that now.
Right.
Generationally speaking, it has never been a thing. Right? So I guess the next generation of men will be more open to it. Right? It will become a more norm thing.
I think I noticed that already. Yeah.
So next level of like guys like to me say my sons they will be more open.
They're much more aware that this is not about you being sick. It's actually an outlet, because we're talking about the outlet thing, right?
Correct.
It's a safe outlet. You two deserve an outlet.
Yes.
You don't have to. Yeah.
Correct. It's a safe outlet, and I think that's what a lot of men we don't have. Not only don't we have it, but we have been conditioned to not take it.
Right.
Right. We are conditioned by our wives. We are conditioned by our father. Right.
Our parents. Society
in general. Even your mother. Right. Even if your mother is going to rub your head, like it's okay. It's like a backhand rub. She will rub your head like it's okay, but at the same time you are a man. You have to get up. Right. Yeah. So it's kind of like a backhand, kind of like.
I went through that. And I appreciate going through that, because there are a couple of things that I cover here, right? At a society level, 100% I agree with you. 100%.
Yeah.
I agree with you. All right. However, when we're having relationship,
Yeah.
personal relationship level.
Yeah.
When we bring it down to personal relationship level, it's not just society now. Your wife expects you to be a man, to provide the masculine environment for structure, safety, order,
Yeah.
security, in every sense, financial.
Yeah.
It's not only your wife that expects you. You expect that of yourself.
Correct.
You stop feeling less than a man when you're not capable of providing a masculine, safe environment
Yeah.
for your family, right?
Correct. But
So there's a balance
Yeah.
here.
But even the definition of masculine safe environment for some of the women, like I'll say from my generation to younger, right? The definition has been somewhat in a monetary term,
Right.
It's never, a man that's just solid, that's there for me, that will encourage my dream. That it's never that, right? So, AKA, if I meet a man that's passive, right? All of a sudden I'm thinking it's not masculine. No, it's just passive.
No, okay, so this is my pushback.
Yeah, yeah.
If she sees it that way,
Yeah, yeah.
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Because we're talking, we've crossed the line into attraction now. Yes, she's loud, I get that. But
standpoint right now.
okay, from a man's standpoint, so a man, let's deal with the way a man addresses that. I like that. So from a woman, I will not judge her. In the same token that I don't want to judge a man, I don't want to judge her that she sees it that way. Now let's look at it from the man's perspective, who is reading women talking online that something means passive. Let's deal with that.
Yeah, so from a man's standpoint, I says, I want to be. I've talked to some of these women, right? And all of them just see him as being
weak,
or
soft,
passive.
right?
And he's thinking like, yo, if you've gone through what I've gone through, you will understand there's nothing about me
that's passive.
That's, or my personality is just passive. I'm not confrontational. I don't want to fight you.
Right.
Right? I get nothing from that. I don't want to fight you. I'm not confrontational. Yes, I could be way more aggressive in that business, but I'm choosing an easier route.
Now, who is he shalaying this to? That's my question.
No. It's not shalaying, but he's internalizing this.
Okay, he's thinking it. Okay, this is inside himself.
And this is where the whole mental issue comes to place, right? He's internalizing this. He's feeling less like a man.
He's feeling less than a man.
Like,
okay.
I'm nobody. Nobody sees me, right? He's thinking now in that sense, right?
Okay.
Yes, as a man, there are men that will rise above that all day, and they do.
Right. Which is why we're expecting him to do that.
Wait, correct. We're expecting like, bro, that's just not your person.
Right. That's not your person. That's okay. Yeah.
That's okay. If you just look towards your left, towards your right, you're going to see somebody that's looking.
And if you stop engaging the people that are not interested in you, you will create more room and time for the people that would like you.
Exactly. If you just look a little bit left and right, you're going to see someone that's actually looking for your type.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't want too aggressive guy. They want someone that's just mellow, that's safe for them, right? That will take care of them.
They can appreciate a kind presentation of a man. Yeah.
But in today's age, like you said earlier, the loudest people.
Right. Social media. The loudest people, they are saying some of this nonsense out there, right? And that's why you see a lot of men run after Kevin Samuel, right? Or now Andrew Tate, right? Because he represents what the picture that has been painted for them, that what a man is supposed to look.
Correct. Yeah, but they are speaking what's in their mind, right? These guys are speaking what is in their mind. Yeah, you can. Yeah,
but they're teaching them. Okay, Andrew Tate is teaching them to don't be a punk. He literally abuses them, for being soft.
He abuses them, but on the other hand, he's also abusing the woman, right? Not all women.
He spent less time abusing women. The one that goes viral is him talking nonsense about women. But I'm saying, if you listen to his long streams, right, he's you will hear enough times that he's checking this soft of a man, right?
I think there was a clip of Kevin Samuel talking about he said you are fat. He said,
You're fat.
Your dick is small. Sorry for language.
Right.
He said, you are broke. Right?
Yeah.
He was saying that.
If you listen long enough, they have those. So they have polarized views, because that's also extremely polarized, right? And that goes viral. They have polarized view, and there's not enough balanced perspective on what a man is on an average. Not The Rock, the wrestler, and we're not talking about extremely soft, like I don't know what example I can give, like feminine. The real life is somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between, yeah. And even those in between, they have their own struggles, right?
Yes, everybody have their own struggles.
They have their own moment. The person can be go-getter all day, and they might have a down year where they're broke,
Right.
And you're going to lift them up at that moment. They might have down 2 years. They might have down 3 years.
Yeah.
I was showing a clip of a billionaire, as in B, a billionaire in dollars that lived on his wife's income for multiple years.
Yeah.
To get a business off the ground.
Right.
Now you're gonna see him as a macho man, but you didn't see where the down.
See, that's the conversations that I want to have.
Yeah. You didn't
Right.
see yes, where the wife lifted
The behind
him
the
up.
scenes. Yes.
Where it was a woman that lifted him up, right? That there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make him less of a man.
Well.
You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it doesn't. And that's the reality of majority of anything that looks like success on the surface.
Yeah.
There are times that the man is down and the woman picks him up directly or indirectly.
Exactly. And it doesn't mean you don't nurture him at that moment. It doesn't mean you don't respect him at that moment.
It doesn't mean you disrespect at that moment. Yeah.
Exactly. But if you're doing those at that moment, it defeats the whole purpose, right?
Yeah.
The point is like, they always say that you see the king in him, right? You're like, no, you are a king, and I'm respecting that king.
So, Shola, wait. There's an angle of this that I want to bring it to it. There are some men that even before the woman sees the worst in you, right? Just because she said something that made you feel some type of way, because you've been consuming this loud stuff, right? You're already feeling some type of way, and you're about to ask, like, is it because I lost my job yesterday that you're talking to me like that? Even if you don't say it out, it's playing out in your head, right?
Correct.
You're already on the defense,
Correct.
right? What do you say to, because that's also a reality, right? Is it more of that, or is it more of women just being outrightly disrespectful because you lost your job? Which one is it, or how do you process that?
So I think it's extreme of both, right? I believe some women are just nasty, right?
Fact.
Nasty, they'll tell you, get your ass up, you are lazy, you're a bum, you're
Right.
doing this. I believe that's right.
Right.
I also
So you're saying some women just lack the manners in that way?
Just like the manners, right?
Okay.
But I also believe for a woman to just be the main income in this example, right?
Right.
A woman
in this example,
to just be the sole provider.
You should adjust yourself too, right?
It will be stressful.
Yes.
Right? It will be stressful for her. So
for her,
there will be days, there will be moments where she say things out of character.
She's cranky and she's soft.
Cranky, exactly. So you will have those moments. But it's one of those things where I trust the guy. Like the guy will know that, you know what, she's going
like you should be considerate in those moments, because that's just real.
Exactly, it's just real life. So, but all that over 6 months, over 1 year, over 2 years, right? All that will paint a particular picture for the man, where the man will know that, you know what, this is my rock. She was with me throughout.
Right. Overall.
Yeah.
Or paint the picture of she was just nasty when I was down.
Exactly. So it's never a one moment.
There's no one moment that decides everything. It's a series, sequence.
Especially marriage. There's
Right.
no one moment thing. It's always a series of multiple events that paint certain narrative. And if you want to change that narrative, it's always going to be another series of events that you're going to have to put in place to change that narrative. So it's one of those things where I feel like the definition of masculinity or those things are it has changed a little bit, where I feel like
it has to change. There's no way you can put masculinity in a box. It's excuse this language, sorry. That's retarded to put masculinity in the box.
That it has to be this, right?
Yeah. Bruce Lee said it better. You have to be like water.
You have to adjust.
Right? You have to be flexible. There's nothing in life that lasts that's not flexible.
Exactly.
You know, yeah.
So to use a Bible story, I mean, for anyone that will listen to the Bible, I love the Bible, right? I think it's the most fascinating book ever, right?
Okay.
So David, right? David in the Bible, right? David was a warrior, killed lion, killed Goliath, did all this, right? To the point that he killed so many people that God says, you can't build my temple, but you have too many blood people in your hand. On the flip side, there are stories in the Bible where, for example, David's son, right? David's son formed some kind of coup against him, right?
Yeah.
In a way, David kind of decided to fuck out and leave the palace and run away, right? So are you going to tell me David is less of a man right now than is?
It's probably a power move.
It's probably a power
in
move.
that moment. There was another strategy that needed to be applied, that if you focus on that, it will look like a weak man, but actually you are the one that's weak.
Exactly. And eventually it worked in his favor, right? Where the Israel now saw the son for who he is.
Yeah.
But if David want to use the iron hand that he's capable of, he would have killed that son within 2 seconds.
Yes.
Right? Get him killed, get him out of the way. Right? So the story of a man is over many years.
Overall, it's overall.
Years.
Yeah,
you
have to look at it as a story.
As a story, exactly. As a story. What's this person's life all about? Right? So I laugh sometimes when people are like, oh, well, our fathers were provider.
Your providers.
That's why our mothers were submissive. I'm like, bullshit.
Bullshit. Anytime they say that, they're like, time out.
Where did it come from? because every time you go to the village, you see your father go to the farm. Does that mean he has a good year every year?
No, I tell the story of our grandfather here. I probably know more than our grandfather more than you. Yeah. But I tell the story. At least we know that my grandmother's house is. You know that part. Her house is sitting right next to Baba's house.
Correct.
She was the second wife.
Correct.
And there are stories. I don't know how true they are. That her money was also involved in building the main building. You know, but she was the one that was there for the longest.
She was a trader.
Right. She had money. She had money coming in and out. And Baba is a farmer. They have seasonal sessions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you would never know what actually transpired between the two of them. You can't just run around the internet and say, and run your mouth to African American men who are also fantasizing that we're more masculine. And say, oh, it's because our fathers were more of a provider, so they were more submissive. No. You're running your mouth into a hole, essentially.
Exactly. You don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know. You have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah.
And our mothers were probably not as submissive as you think, right?
Well, no, they were not. Okay.
Somebody made a point. Somebody said if we're supposed to do DNA of the previous generation, you will find out some of our grandmothers were not really our grandmothers. Some of our grandfathers were not really our grandfathers.
Fact.
Our grandmothers were sleeping around.
Fact. No, my mom would tell you stories inside of Ogbese village of people that, there's a Baba they used to call Odobolawi. But anyway, there's some stories of women who go to the street and they slept with other men and stuff like that. People's wives. So I think you're absolutely correct. A lot of this stuff is a story playing out. Or you can use one moment to be deciding anything. And unfortunately, social media thrive off of one moment. People will use one moment to decide who they think you are.
Correct.
Use it to judge you or decide that you are a god or you are less than a god. All this kind of stuff, Yeah.
Exactly. I've always talked, for example, Jeff Bezos, right? If you know Jeff Bezos as well, you know this guy is not stupid to just during divorce to just give his first wife that amount of billions of dollars.
No, he's not stupid. He's playing a game that you have no idea.
You know what that lady did for him.
Yeah. Right? That and there's only so much she's going to do with the money. It's just money.
It's just money. It's like, no, I'm going to give you this. I don't know what, 50 billion or something, right?
Yeah. That's
yours. And I think part of the deal is going to help her manage it in a way, right? So
she's still involved.
She's still very involved in
it.
So it's one of those things where I'm like, as a man, when we are saying we want you to nurture us,
Right.
more of a character thing. We're not. It's a character thing. We're not asking you to be a slave.
So I personally think it's the nature of a woman. Okay, this is my take. I think it's the nature of a woman in general, or at least they are more in their essence when they are playing that. Because if you look at it, biologically speaking, that's just what a woman is: nurturer, multiplier. We provide, and I don't mean financially. We provide the environment, we provide a safety, we set the tone, and the woman makes a home out of it. And if you look at every story, historically speaking, from every greatest story in the world, the Bible speaking, our world today, the society, socially speaking, that's just the way. When we swim against that is when we collect.
You get a problem.
Right? That's what we get into problem. So now, but provision starts first before a woman feels safe. And that's with respect to, yes, there are some people that are just nasty. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about on a normal day, you provide, she multiplies, reciprocates, multiples back to you. And then there's a flow like that. You have a life cycle, right? So now there are some exceptions. There are some case-by-case situation where you need to hold individuals accountable for certain things.
Correct.
Right? And we need to bring it down. But if you're not telling us that story, that specific story, if you want to run to the societal issues and you want to say that's what's wrong with this woman, if you do that, when in reality we're actually talking about your wife, your girlfriend, right? We're not going to get to the truth because you're going to obviously yield towards the story that makes you feel better in a moment.
Correct.
And that's a problem.
Yeah, and the algorithm will help you too.
The algorithm will present you what you want. What you want to see. What you're obsessed with. Confirmation bias, basically.
Confirmation bias, exactly. But nothing is black and white, right? So there's a sweet spot in between.
In between,
And that's probably where you will come into, like, I get your point. I get it. I totally understand it. I've been there. But now let's walk ourselves to that.
Like tell me what you want. Forget the society. I know you want to talk about all these women and how forget, and by the way, you will not be deleting yourself because I have enough tools, all right, that you never have to do that. Let's first of all start self-care, okay? Soft life, okay? Soft life. You're a fine young man. I know you are short and you're ugly as you think. No, you're not, by the way, but I know that's how you feel, right? Let's
I'm big on that too. Like, listen, as a man, you gotta take care of yourself.
Right.
I think that's part of what the woman likes anyway.
That's what's attracting them.
You gotta think of yourself will show up in a different way, but you just have to.
You have to. Right. So for every individual that looks different, that's why you need wise counsel. That's why you need to bring it down to your own story. And unfortunately, if you're in that space already, that you're already over consuming the worst of the stories out there, we gotta pull you out of that. Because that's only going to make it worse and worse and worse, because it becomes your reality, because that's all you're consuming.
I agree.
And it shows in your behavior. So the work of you and I is we have the balanced perspective of these two, and how do we operate in empathy for everyone,
Correct.
so that it doesn't come off as judgmental. I still think your ex, let me say this out loud, it's a terrible idea to drag your ex on the internet. I get it, it's an outlet, but we need to find other outlets. If anyone that's going through that right now, and I say ex on both sides, the women know I say that all the time too, like dragging your ex that you have children with, there's a good chance you're shooting yourself on the legs. Then that's also especially true if you have a new partner. That partner, on a normal day, they're supposed to appreciate that they're better than your ex. But that's not how the brain works.
So I think there's a point where it becomes too much, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, you're writing a book about it and you're both getting paid from it.
Writing book is fine, because there's certain type of people that go and read books.
Yeah, and like I said, you're getting paid from it, right? Your wife, your wife will not be mad, because your current wife knows that this is just a business, a way to monetize this, right?
Right.
So if it's now you do it every day in your content, right? After a while, I do agree with you. After a while, she's gonna be like, okay.
Like, can you stop talking about your ex already?
Exactly. I agree with that.
And you're like, wait, You're supposed to be the soft one that I fell in love with because you are better than her. Now you will now find yourself grouping them together, meaning confirmation bias all over again. Correct. They're all the same. You will basically create the same experience over and over again.
Correct. It's like a not deja vu, but it's almost like you are inflicting yourself. Your pain is now controlling your future, and that's
right. Yeah. So I'm going to hold Sola on stage for another 3 minutes. He did say he had to leave at 7 p.m. because he's a father of young people, unlike me. I can get away with long hours here, but not so much for Sola. So I want to respect his time too. Evie says, why writing books though?
An outlet.
Yeah, it's an outlet, and when you're writing book, you have a tendency to also clean it up. You make it you don't make it so when you're talking in front of a camera. So you speak from the heart with camera with so much from a place of deeper pain. When you're writing book, you want to clean it up. You want to make you kind of like you don't just talk into a book and put it out. You clean it up. You have other people read it. You proofread it.
And sometimes purpose is birthed from the pain.
Yes. Right? No, that's all the time, by the way. That's all the time.
All the time. So whatever pain you've gone through will give you your new purpose where you want to help people, right?
Yes.
That could be content, that could be books, and that could be whatever. That could be script for a movie, whatever.
Yes.
But it's coming from that place of pain, your whole healing journey, and where you're like, I want to help other guys, right?
Right.
Not all women do not go through this.
And generally speaking, right? There's only I've been yelling about. I have 2 books they can download for free. Okay, let me tell you for free. Less than 5% of subscribers here have actually downloaded the book from here for free. Of course, we advertise in other ways, but from this place because we track them. When we say manofprestige.com is only here. Less than 5% of them don't use that link. No, we know this already. I'm just letting you know. Okay, there's only certain type of people that go read a book. It's people that are trying to build themselves. Okay, they're not people that will go and spread it.
Or a course.
Or a course or something like that. But when people go on the internet and do these small reels and these small reels that are polarized in nature, they go viral, right? And they have their ways of coming back to bite you in the butt. But I'm just saying, the way you would talk on a book, you probably will protect the parties involved anyway. You might use different names. You're trying to also you're writing a book because you're trying to shoot out a lesson. Well, oftentimes when you shoot, not me, but when people shoot reels, the most viral ones are just raw, and there's no real purpose than to just go viral, So I would definitely. She said, "It's same with social media. Toke did same. I have no idea what's inside of Toke Makinwa's book. Case in point, right? But I know she's a Jesus baby on the internet, a baddie with BBLs. Go figure. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Toke Makinwa.
I don't know what that is.
He doesn't know what that is. Go figure. I like that. So that's a good example, actually. My sisters drag the exo, then be knock sick cyst is being sarcastic. Shout out to you for the £5. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Hold on 1 second. Dragging your ex is shooting yourself on the legs on social media. Okay, when you're writing a book, you will clean it up. You probably won't drag them. You will be teaching.
So let me clarify my biggest point on this.
Go ahead. Yeah.
If it's going to help you heal, it's okay. I think this is where we differ. If it's going to help you heal, it's perfectly okay to drag your ex. However, after you drag them once, twice, 3 times.
Right.
After a while, that should be it. You should be over it. Right.
Okay.
Then it's smart at that time to re-strategize, to kind of like, okay, maybe there's a better way to do this, to make money off it. I'm perfectly okay. If you want to drag them, drag them. Whatever helps you heal. I'm okay with it.
Okay. All right. I'm okay also if you're okay with the consequences of it 10 years down from now. Because on the internet, nothing is erased, as you know. So I preach healthy relationship with your exes, ex-wife, ex-husband. You need to treat them like you're still married to them for as long as the life of the children you have with them, for your own good, for your own mental health, for the mental health of your kids. Now, how we get to that space it's going to take a lot of healing because, like you said, the reality is that you're going to need outlets. You're going to need to go through some kind of healing process. It makes sense that you feel the need to drag them.
Right.
It makes absolute sense to me. So you're not being judged in that capacity. We're just kind of we're highlighting that they're there. Like, take it easy on yourself. Fire round questions for you. Answer so you can go. Okay. American politics.
Okay.
Go. Your thoughts.
Oh, my thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh, they're both shitty. They're both shitty. I don't like Trump personally, right?
Okay.
But objectively speaking, I think Trump's policy is better for black people.
Okay.
Just you have to look past the noise, right? On the macro level, American politics.
It's one thing.
American agenda is American agenda. So if you want to vote for Kamala because she's black, that's okay too.
So you're good. Well, is she black or is she Indian? Which one is it? I'm confused.
I don't know. She's black. Her father is black. So,
all right. One last question for you: spirituality, religion. Your thoughts? You and your pastor drag it out all the time on Facebook.
Yeah. So my thought, I think
your favorite pastor, your favorite person, your G, by the way.
My pastor.
But you drag it out on that wall.
Yeah.
Almost every other week. There's always something.
This is my belief. I believe Jesus is the Son of God. I believe Jesus is the actual creator. Right?
Okay.
So let me phrase it. There's God the Father, right? And there's God the Son, and there's God the Holy Spirit. But they're all creators, right? They all play a role. And I believe Jesus is the creator, right? So, and Jesus came to remove legalism, remove organized religion, remove some shady stuff, right? And stay focused actually on me and my principle and my wisdom, right? Now, I'm sure Jesus is aware of this. After Jesus resurrected, that exact thing Jesus came to remove is being introduced in a very it's being introduced in a
it's repeating the cycle.
It's repeating a circle. So exactly what we have now is organized religion, right? A lot of legalism, and they swear they are not, but that's exactly what they are.
But that's the point. They're supposed to not admit it, but we get it.
Exactly. So I think what's the guy, the singer, Ty Tribbett.
Okay.
Ty Tribbett said the church is whack today, right?
Offensive. So offensive.
People took offense to it. And he made one point. I'm not banned. He said you can remove Jesus from the church, and the church will still function today. I'm like, that's not how it's supposed to be, right?
Right.
Because the church have a system. They have everything in place that they don't.
Is it the religion in you saying that?
No. So again, no, I'm not religious at all, right?
Okay.
Because the essence of Jesus, right, is grace. Say, hey, none of you are perfect. There's nothing you do that can save you.
Righteousness is poto.
Exactly. Bible says that your righteousness is like filthy rag. Nothing you can do that can save you. Right. The only thing that can save you is to believe in me.
Believe in him. Yeah.
Right. But so that's my own belief.
That's your angle to it. Okay.
That's my own faith. Anything else after that, right? And anything else, like obviously, like if you go on TikTok now, there's so much prophecy, right? There's so much prophecy about Trump, prophecy about this. I'm like, what exactly does this have to do with Jesus, right? If I engage you a little bit, is Jesus only interested in America that is giving you American prophecy?
Out of all 8 billion people.
Exactly. What about the prophecy about Sudan? What about the prophecy about?
Never mind that. Those are Gentiles.
Exactly. What about the prophecy about Haiti? What about the prophecy about Libya? What about the prophecy about your own village in Ibadan? What about those prophecies? All of a sudden, God skipped all those and is giving you prophecy about American politics and Trump. And 2 seconds into your prophecy, I know you don't know what you're talking about.
They don't know what they're talking about. It is what it is. The funny thing, why I was laughing? for the first time in these 2 hours and 14 minutes session, you started to get passionate and you were doing your eyes. That's why I couldn't finish this live without asking that question.
No, it really gets to me what's going on here. So that's my religion. My religion essentially is outside of the church building, right? It's completely about Jesus himself and his principles. And the principles are very simple. Love your neighbor as yourself.
Right.
Love God.
Okay. So, pardon me. One last question attached onto that question.
Yes.
In your opinion, what's a fundamental difference between the way you see faith, either spirituality or religion, and me and you? What's the fundamental difference?
How we both see it.
Yeah. In your opinion.
I think you think it's more about the principle, right? It's more about the principle and loving your neighbor and loving your neighbor as yourself kind of thing, right?
Right.
And living in that wisdom of Jesus. I think you see it more of that.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Me, I'm saying it's actually about that man, Jesus.
You're still attached to the man of Jesus.
I have enough evidence to say it's about that man, Jesus. Now, once you focus on that man, those other things you talked about, right? Loving your neighbor, being kind, being generous, being nice to people, not being nasty. Those things eventually will start manifesting in you, right? But it's still about that man, right? That's I think that's where we differ. But it still comes down to the same thing, right? The principle.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, I promise this will be the last one. I promise. Okay. What's your biggest fear about the people that are single that are not married yet, as you watch them talk on social media today?
That they will get older.
What do you mean?
They will get older without marriage.
Okay.
Without wedding, and by the time they realize a lot of the things they're saying is complete bullshit. At that time, they're not as young as they are. And this goes for both parties, right? They're not as young as they are. You are set your own way. It becomes exponentially harder to compromise, to be with somebody, right? And it doesn't have to be so, right? Or it doesn't have to be so, but I mean, I feel for them. I can't imagine being single into this age. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm holding my wife.
I'll let us leave it like that.
Okay.
Evie said they will be fine. What are your final thoughts
about this?
Just overall, everything we talked about today.
Oh no, this has been great. 2 hours went by fast. It
went by fast.
Yeah, I love the topic. I think overall we're gonna be okay.
Right, we agree with Evie. Absolutely. Everybody's gonna be all right. Last.
Overall, we're all gonna be okay. If you're single at 40, that's okay. If you're single at 50, that's okay. Marriage is not everything.
No, it's not. It's not.
Marriage is not everything.
I'm the first to tell you that. Hey, if you think the certain way, you're probably better off avoiding marriage.
Exactly. And if you're struggling,
it's not what. There's certain things you say. I just say it's not what it.
Yeah. If you are struggling in your marriage, stay at it. Right. Don't give up. Right, but there's no judgment.
So okay. I was going to ask you another question when you said that earlier on. What do you say to people that feel that they're in an abusive marriage? You're just gonna say just stay at it?
No. So abuse is relative when it's non-physical. But when it comes to physical abuse, pack your bag and leave right away. And
like right now.
That goes for men and that goes for women.
Right.
There's zero tolerance for that. You're not supposed to die because of marriage.
That doesn't make any sense, right?
When it comes to physical abuse, please pack your bag and leave right away.
Right.
If there's any kind of threat, do whatever you gotta do with the law enforcement, but don't. So abuse is relative, right? So if it's beating you, verbal abuse. If it's
verbal abuse. Would you say if it's a constant verbal abuse, they should at least seek help?
If it's a consistent, yes, on both sides.
Everything is both sides. They should know that here by now.
Exactly. Seek help, talk to therapy, talk to pastors, talk to everybody. You're not supposed to be beat up verbally because of marriage, right? So I don't think that's as bad as physical, but I think it's something that has to be addressed, and you have to demand a change on that one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna end like this, and both of us will go off the screen at the same time. Let me say this: just before I came on, I discovered a couple of things. Okay. I discovered that Apostle what's his name? Apostle Selman. Apostle Selman, right? That's his name, right? Apostle Selman was live. 59,000. Shout out to all 12 of you watching us live right now, by the way. 59,000 people were watching him live. Apostle Selman is a 44-year-old man, my same age. I thought it was double my age for some reason. I don't know why.
That's a single guy.
And it's a single guy, okay? There's only one reason why I can attach to 59,000. Okay, maybe two things. He's definitely delivering value. I don't want to take that away from him. The second thing is that it's religious, okay? It's a religious setting. So, and I know Nigerians, how we feel about religious. We're not taking that away from you. We understand it. Its value. It is what it is. Okay. But I want to say special shout out to all the 12 people watching us live right now that you found this valuable, right? If you're watching this as a replay later, I know for a fact that at least 100 people will hit this video later on, right? If you're watching this as later on and you feel like you've gotten value from this session, please add a super chat, add a super sticker to appreciate our special guest today. All right, and I want to say thank you to everybody. Okay, that's not to compare. I'm just letting you know how. See, these are some of the issues that we have to do. We're going more into real life. We're going further away from all the fantasies we've given ourselves. Whatever we thought heaven was supposed to be on another planet somewhere where we're going to end up. And at the same time, we don't want to die, Nigerians especially, right? Whatever that is, you're going to have to deal with this real life. So if you're getting value out of this, please make sure you had a super sticker, a super something, to appreciate. At the very minimum, make sure you hit the like button. All right? Thank you. I appreciate everybody. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. On your way out, hit the like button, share, subscribe. Turn up your notifications, and we'll see you on the next one. And peace. We offer evidence-based relationship and marriage resources and coaching to help you navigate the difficult times.
Don't just wing it. Learn the principles that work.
Download our 2 free books and book your complimentary coaching session now at manofprestige.com.